Welcome to Crafts and Minis. This is week 5 of Tracking My Hobby Week, where every week on a Monday usually, so far so good, even though I'm late this week, I post a video of what I was able to accomplish and actually finish up in the hobby. And this week, I was able to complete 18 minis, which I'm pretty pleased with. I got a whole swarm of 16 minis that are all the same, and then a couple different ones. Let me start with those 16. So what I did here was painted up some originally board game pieces from Cool Mini or Not's game Besieged. That's the letter B and then sieged, Besieged. And I actually got the core game of this and an expansion on eBay, and then I picked up a second expansion later because I like some of the minis in that expansion a whole lot. I make some cool dwarf conversions that I'll show you someday. And I was able to paint up all 16 of these this week, and I was pretty pleased with that. These minis are interesting. Don't ask me exactly what creature they're going to be in Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know yet. I know like a game like Kings of War, these would count like really well as like salamanders. So I'll figure out something. But I wanted to do these more monochrome, right? Like the same type of color palette. So I originally did all the metal in the same color using one of my Sharpie metallic markers, which is awesome. And then, did my washes and all that and painted the skin just slightly different colors. So the skin is not metallic. But I thought these came out pretty good. When you finish 16 of the same model in a week, that's always really satisfying to get a big whole horde of troops now at my disposal with these really cool looking blades that are awesome. So those could count as like great axes, or they could be halberds. It's awesome. The other thing I got done this week, which I should have looked up to make sure I knew exactly what Reaper called this, but this is a winged basilisk in my book, and I just painted it blue. This was a pretty simple paint job. I did the Zenithal two-toned priming, black from the bottom, white from the top, and you really can't tell that much here. I then did an indigo ink wash of those FW acrylic artist inks all the way around, and then I just picked out like the inside of the wings here and different highlights with coal black from P3. I know Ash in his 2018 series of videos covering the year of what he was able to do over at Gorilla Miniatures Games talked about that coal black P3 color as one of his staples for the year, and I totally agree. It provided an interesting highlight to the indigo, and I'm not going to show you any more too close on that one because he was super quick, and I'm already seeing stuff I would redo if I did him again. But I was really pleased with it, and that coal black color comes off super blue there because it's on top of blue, but it's a really interesting complement to black also, which is awesome. And finally, I saved the best for last. This is a Reaper model on a 75 millimeter or 3-inch base, which makes it a huge size mini for D&D. And I got him done this week. And he's, I think, a jailer, like a fire giant jailer or something like that from Reaper. But I just painted him up as a big old giant, or he could be like some sort of dwarf demigod or something like that. But what's really cool about him that I like, obviously he's dirty because that's my style, right? But wherever you see metal, his collar, the chains, all over, any of the little accents, wherever you see metal, his boots, guess what I did that with? You got it, a Sharpie marker. And then I used different inks to highlight it and washes, right? And then went back with the marker again as a final highlight. Now the skin on this actually turned out way better than I thought it was going to. When you're painting skin at different stages, sometimes it just looks horrible. And this guy ended up turning out pretty good. I still need to touch up his face. Well, no, his face is fine. I need to pick out his eye. I couldn't decide if I wanted to paint him like with a red eye like all my monsters or do something different with his eye. I kind of like it just dark there, though. And I thought this was just a really cool, huge mini. And it definitely is. I didn't put all the little accents that you could glue on to his belt because I love to use extra bits like that in conversions for different minis. And also, he comes with this huge whip, right? That's why he's a jailer. He's got his big whip, I guess. and I just cut it out of his hand on both sides, which worked out really well. And now he's just got a big old hammer, which is pretty cool. And so I could see him being like some giant blacksmith, or of course, some sort of thing with the dwarves, because I don't know, I just really like that guy in relationship to dwarves. He's very dwarfian build to me. But that's what I was able to get done this week. It's not a super long video this week, but I appreciate everybody checking it out. Slow but steady, the subscribers are increasing, which is crazy. I have people coming up, actually, that I know who've seen that I have a channel in other walks of life. If you go check out my Twitter, you'll see what that is. And it's so much fun because I know there's some kids who watch this channel with their parents. So just want to give a shout out to them. If you're ever interested in this hobby, let me know. And I'll give you some tips. But I just appreciate everybody who is so supportive in this community. It is so much fun to track the progress every week that I'm able to do. I'm supposed to play a game this coming week on Sunday, and we'll see. We'll see if that happens. I think I have another event that I'm going to have to push the game for, but I still have to get all that clarified. But this is just an encouragement to you. Even if you only have metallic Sharpie markers for your medals, you can still get after your hobby. So go do it. Go get after your hobby.